I gotta say, the guy that we had,
When did you get one of those? 2 years ago. We noticed them on the front of his house.
they're so low profile now, selling.
And they did his whole
First
front
came
home,
out.
like you seen them.
They're just up here.
Yeah.
It's 7:33. This is the meeting of the Township of Rochelle Park, September 25th, 2019.
This meeting has been posted and is being video recorded. Committeewoman Boniface?
Here.
Committeeman Lavasi?
Here.
Committeeman Bodnar?
Here.
Committeeman Warren?
Here.
Mayor Casimir?
Here. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And please remain standing for a moment of silence for all our troops that are serving both here and abroad. Thank you. Are there any amendments to the agenda, changes?
Yes, I'd like to pull resolution number 2019-185.
185 is off consent.
What was the number again, Mr. Mayor?
185, it's the third resolution.
Gotcha, yep.
All right. Any other changes? Seeing none, can I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I'll make that motion.
Second it.
Okay, roll call?
Committeewoman Boniface?
Yes.
Committeeman Lavasi?
Yes.
Committeeman Bodnar?
Yes.
Committeeman Warren?
Yes.
Mayor Casimir?
Yes. Okay, can I have a motion to open to the public for agenda items only?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Committeewoman Boniface?
Yes.
Committeeman Lavasi?
Yes.
Committeeman Bodnar?
Yes.
Committeeman Warren?
Yes.
Mayor Casimir?
Yes. Okay, we are open to the public. If there's an item on the agenda that you'd like to discuss, please come forward, state your name and address and your concern or question. Okay, seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Committeewoman Boniface?
Yes.
Committeeman Lavasi?
Yes.
Committeeman Bodnar?
Yes.
Committeeman Warren?
Yes.
Mayor Casimir?
Yes. Okay. All right, next on the agenda is approval of minutes for August 28th, 2019. Can I have a motion?
Make the motion.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Committeewoman Boniface?
Yes.
Committeeman Lavasi?
Yes.
Committeeman Bodnar?
Yes.
Committeeman Warren?
Abstain.
Mayor Casimir?
Yes. Okay. Boswell Engineering is next up on discussion. Hi, Mike.
Good evening, Mayor and Township Committee. Thanks for having me tonight.
Thanks for coming.
The only item that I wanted to discuss was our written status report. I typically come to the work sessions. I wasn't able to make it till last meeting, so I'm glad you're able to have me tonight. So can't go a month without engineering.
That's right. That's right.
So the first item is Rochelle Avenue and the Railroad Ave intersection project. So we received a call from the county. They're requesting the meets and bounds for the taking maps. So we're coordinating that with administration and Ken Job, and we'll get that to the county right away. We're still waiting for the signal and striping plan from the county. We have a call into them to find out when we can expect that. We expect to have our plans and specs completed and ready to go out to bid probably within 2 weeks after we get that from the county. So we still expect to be ready to go out to bid by the end of this year for that project. For the Sprout Brook Stream Cleaning and Outfall Stabilization Project, we expect the permit applications to be submitted to DEP by November 1st. For ROP 105, that's the Bergen County Road Resurfacing Project. Since the last time I was here, West Passaic Street has been paved. I've taken a look at it. I think it looks good. I think the county did a great job in administering that project. I did receive a request tonight from a member of the public to ask about the status of the paving of Rochelle Ave. So I'll review that with the county and I'll report back to administration just to see where where it is on their schedule. I don't know if it's on an upcoming program, but if it's okay with the Township Committee, I'll look into that. The Terrace Avenue project that's been completed. The state aid application for 2019 was for Marinas Street. We received $182,000 for that project. We expect to complete the design of that project. We're going to combine it with Madison Avenue. We're going to design it in the fall, bid it in the winter, and expect it to be one of the first projects out in the spring. So it's probably, I'd say, a 2-month project, or we would give the contractor 2 months to complete it. So we're probably talking, we'll give them April and May, so probably by June 1st, those streets should be completed.
And we're talking curbs and,
Sure, curbs. If curbs are in bad shape, we're going to replace those. If there's sidewalk in bad shape, I guess we should just review that with the township. I don't know if the sidewalks are the property owner's responsibility or if we just do it as part of the project.
Mike, are you speaking about Marina Street or Madison Avenue? when you say that?
Well, either.
I think, quite frankly, I mean, we need to do what we did on Terrace Avenue.
Yeah, that's
That's
the right way to do it.
Yeah.
So we
Can
would
can
do
we
that.
get sidewalks into the project or
Oh,
is
yeah.
that, I'm not, it's not,
No, that's a,
It's on Terrace.
an item that's covered under the local aid grant.
okay, good.
So the only thing is just to make clear, because I know that we had the issue with Madison Avenue this year. And I know that people were thinking it was going to get done. Unfortunately, we did have a problem with funding that we had to take care of first. And they kind of like delayed a little bit of the aspect because they couldn't do any of the engineering until the monies were in place. So now that everything has gone through the process, that's why we want to get moving now, do all the engineering now, so that this way here, right in the spring, we can get moving and get both of those streets done.
We expect that to be the first project out on the street.
and our road program for next year covers, do we have a list?
The road program, that's what the Marina Street is right now.
Just,
Madison Avenue.
just those 2 streets? We're talking
Yes.
about
Yes,
Marinas and Madison?
correct.
And
Okay,
you-
so no additional road surfacing projects or anything else?
We can, if in fact, the Township Committee wants to do another roadway, we certainly can do so. We can talk about that for the budget for next year. But these are 2 projects where the money's in place, we want to make sure we get them done. So that's why we're discussing that tonight. But again, we certainly can, if in fact the township wants to go ahead with another project for next year, we certainly can do that.
Well, every year we have listed items or listed streets that would be paved. If we are putting this equipment in place and it is localized in Rochelle Park, does it make sense for us to take a look at maybe one additional street and do a complete, redo of the curbs as well?
So I understand the only problem is we can't go out to bid with, just again, because you have to have all your engineering, everything else has to be in place. So I'm not disagreeing with you, Mayor. I'm just saying that that's something we can certainly talk about for next year.
Yeah, you
But we need to make sure the
funding.
funding is in
We have
place.
funding in place.
Right.
It's not, I mean, from an engineering standpoint, if the township, I wouldn't want to delay those projects. Because what we could do is we could design we could add another road into the program. And listen, I'm not a finance guy, but if we were to, I don't know if you include it in the temporary budget on January 1st for that additional road. I mean, engineering wise, it's not a huge difference, but if you're talking about doing a $100,000 street, you can design it now, probably have the funding to include it with the projects that we're doing right now in terms of design. But I wouldn't want to delay the paving of Marinas and Madison to try and capture that other street.
While we're talking about paving and Rochelle Ave, you said you were going to reach out to the county to see where it's in the pipeline?
Yes.
That is that's actually worse than Passaic Street. If you look at the curbing and the way that it's actually elevated, almost to the point where there's no curb for a good portion of the stretch. So that's something that we probably need to take a look at as well.
Good. I'll follow up. I'll let administration know what their
Yeah.
plan.
Mayor, I'd rather put efforts into Rochelle Ave, if that is,
Well, it's
That's
a main
county road.
corridor.
That's county road.
yeah, but if it's up and coming,
If it's gonna be touched, that's the only time that we should be doing it, because right prior to that work.
Yeah.
I mean, we should be.
'Cause that
getting
really
there and
is-
taking care of it.
a heavily traveled road.
Yeah.
And a lot of people comment on that road, so.
Yeah, the only issue is with that, is that with Rochelle Avenue, as long as it's on the pipeline or in the food chain with the county, then we can, if we have issues with the ADA ramps, then we can address it, and it's on the county will refund us back.
Right, the county will
So
actually.
that's one of the things we have to take a look at. But then again, are we going to be responsible for all the curbing? Because as you know, the county does not do the curbing. So, that's all has to go into play with this whole project. I don't have any opposition for doing that. I'm just saying, but just make sure that everybody's clear what has to happen here. So what would have the county would take care of the ADA ramping, but we would have to take care of all the curbs. And if there was any sidewalks, that'd be our responsibility.
Just like we did with West Passaic Street, we would have to go through, do all the handicap ramps ahead of time,
Right.
in advance. So-
Document any curbs that would need to be replaced.
Right, and the township would have to fund the curb replacements. The township would have to administer the handicap ramp project
Yes.
for the county, just like we did with West Passaic, and then we would get reimbursed by the county. So let me find out where we are, and then we'll
Yeah.
plan accordingly.
Aren't we still trying to line this up to be done after the Railroad Ave intersection is done?
Actually, it's probably after the
Yeah.
Railroad Ave intersection anyway. I'm not aware of it being next year,
And then the
the whole road.
other issue still is with the ADA ramps.
Right? Yep.
That's usually the project that you do the year before they actually come in and do the paving for the roadway. So if we were to do this right now, it would be at least 2 years out.
So let me find out where they are, and so instead of just guessing where they are.
Right.
And then just with respect to paving, we did apply for Oldest Street for this year's local aid application. And we expect to hear back from DOT probably in about 2 months. I think they expect to make the announcements towards the end of November, which I'm actually a little surprised. Usually they do it at the end of October. This way, everybody running for office can take credit for the local aid grants that they got. So, but this year they're
Wow,
doing it.
Mike.
Strike that.
Were you said, really?
But this year they're doing it probably end of November. So as soon as I find out, I'll let the township know.
And that's for
Oldest.
Yes.
And that's all I have.
All right.
Mike, one more thing. Terrace Ave,
Yes.
is that done?
That's complete. They're just addressing some punch list
Punch
items.
list, because there's some caps missing
Yeah,
over, okay.
Yep, but we want to make sure we got paving done before school. We realize that there's some punch list items to address, and we'll make sure that's taken care of. We recommended payment for the contractor. I know that was submitted to
Yes,
the township. We were waiting on their certified payroll sheet.
I have it.
Okay. And do you think that'll be on for the next meeting for them?
I'm hoping to get them. Actually, I spoke with him today. If all goes well, we actually should be able to get him paid.
Okay. At the next meeting.
Well, I'm hoping that we can get him paid prior to that, because that is already authorized anyway, so.
Good. Because he did a great job. And the only thing we're holding back on him right now is retainage. We still have to, the way it works is once you complete a job, you notify DOT. They'll come in and do a surveillance report. And we typically hold the retainage until we get the DOT comments, just in case there's something. Say if DOT came out and said, you have some remedial work to do. We have something to hold on the contractor till he does that. So, but everything else is going good.
All right. Any other members of the township committee have any questions?
I do. 120 West Passaic,
Yes,
the sanitary sewer.
yes.
When will that be approved? Or when will the report be to us?
Okay,
October 15th?
we were approved at the last meeting I was at, which was August 28th. We expect our report to be completed by October 15th. So about 2 weeks, we'll have that to the township.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Any other questions?
Mike, just one quick question on the takings for the Railroad Avenue improvement.
Yes,
So I heard that the county wanted meets and bounds. Are you going to do that, or do we need to ask Ken to do that?
we're going to, right now we're getting an estimate from Ken to see how
Okay.
much it is.
Yeah.
And if it's reasonable, if you can do it cheaper than we can.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we know somebody's doing it, because we can't really finalize the takings until we have.
Yep.
And then once that's done, then the maps will get final approval from the county? Is that what
Yes.
they've told you?
Yep.
Like I saw there was exchange with,
Yeah, they had told me that they were approved previously.
I know. Now they want the county council to look at it, and
Right.
county council says, we don't want to look at it, but,
Right.
okay.
So, yeah, then it can finalize.
Okay,
this.
just let me know, and then we'll try to finalize.
Yeah, so Joe, just so you know, I mean, the engineer and I had this conversation this
Oh,
morning.
okay.
Yes.
And a call went out to Kenny. I'm waiting, actually, give him a call the first thing in the morning. He sent me an email, and we'll just go from there. And
Okay.
then I'll be back in touch with Mike, and we'll work it out from there, all right? We'll let you know what the outcome is.
Okay, while we're, Mr. Davidson, did you reach out to Maywood to find out about the handicap ramps that were required for Rochelle Park and not necessarily required or not done in Maywood? That was a concern that a resident brought up.
I'll give the administrator a call tomorrow morning.
Okay.
All right.
All right, and
And
then.
that's for Passaic Street?
That was actually Maywood Avenue, correct?
Well, that was.
Was it-
it
were
was-
both parts?
It was a mistake, so, but we were required to put in, a significant amount of money up front and work.
Mhm.
And it doesn't seem like it carried throughout the entire length of the street, so.
All right. The nice thing about that is that, some municipalities or government agencies have been brought into lawsuits for not being ADA compliant. And
Oh, I think this is great that we did it in town. It's just,
Yeah.
if that was a requirement from the county, why was it not uniformly applied?
I mean, I was told if we don't do it, then we would not get they wouldn't do the paving, so.
And traffic calming, speed bumps, what's your opinion on them, and can we apply them in town to slow down traffic on some of these side streets?
Well, my opinion on those are basically, I like to review those with the emergency services in the community. I think in some communities, the emergency services are against them because it decreases their speed that they can go, during an emergency. I don't know what the Township of Rochelle Park's emergency services opinion is on those. We've done them in many municipalities. The common thing now is a speed table, not necessarily a speed bump. And so those work effective. But I would first check with emergency services to see what their opinion is.
Okay, can we get that underway? Is there any objection from members of the township committee?
No, people
At least
are
explore
very
that
concerned
option?
about it, so.
None.
We've been talking about it for a long time, and I think it's time that we start moving.
And Mr. Kelly, it doesn't have to be just speed bumps, but any other kind of methods that you can
Deterrence.
calm traffic, especially around curves in town. People take the curves too fast and they come outside the yellow lines. And some of our roads where there's like a T in the road, some of them only have one stop sign facing one way. And I'd like to be able to say we can examine some of those roads like Lincoln Drive or Terrace Ave, where some people use them as cut-throughs, and there's only one stop sign or at the most two, and causes some issues. That's all. So
Okay. Can I get a list of the areas of concern?
Sure.
yeah,
We can put it together and we'll
Yeah.
get it to Mr. Davidson.
Because each location is really handled on its own.
yeah, yeah.
Because
I would agree.
we've done some in different municipalities where you can do something as simple as striping, pedestrian crossing,
Mhm.
which, and you put up pedestrian crossing signs. It makes people aware, or brings their attention that there may be pedestrians in the area and they tend to slow down from that. I'm not saying that that's the best, and it depends on the situation, especially on the curve.
Yeah.
That's obviously not going to work. Speed bumps may not work on a curve. You may,
I was thinking of like maybe those pylons that you can put in the center of the two yellow lines.
You do
Just